So there is no rush to your process. There is no rush to do shadow work, to look at your unconscious, to heal all of your wounds. Life unfolding in its natural process at the time it takes is perfectly in resonance and perfectly aligned for you and what you're going through. So you don't have to consciously stress about learning your lessons, because as you go through life, naturally you will come across the same lessons over and over and over. And it is only until you get to the point where you have learned that lesson so deeply that you don't have to think about it anymore. I've noticed a lot of people struggling with, how do I make a decision? How do I make a choice in life? There are so many options. I can't quite grasp onto what is right or wrong. And really, in the greater context of things, that's irrelevant, and you just need to be doing what's right for yourself. Making a decision comes naturally when you've learned the lesson enough, and it's an automatic response. So if someone were to offer me heroin right now, that's not something I would have to think about. That's not even a lesson I've learned. That's a lesson that I've learned vicariously through other people. Maybe a better example is drinking. If someone were to say, hey Ellie, do you want to go out and get trashed tonight, and we'll have some casual sex and we'll take a lot of drugs, and that's a lesson that I've learned personally. That doesn't fulfill me, and that doesn't bring me joy, and actually not only does the alcohol give me a headache, but so do poor relationships with one night stands and things like that. So you don't need to stress about doing the work or learning the lessons or sort of progressing through your spiritual evolution in some sort of timely manner. This will all happen very naturally, of course. It will happen perfectly as you need it to. And you will learn those lessons to the point. Life will present to you opportunities to learn these things to the point where you don't need to learn them anymore. Nothing has to be done in and you might actually feel called to, fuck it, you might really want to spend some time learning your lessons and reflecting and thinking about yourself, and that's fine. But I'm just saying the process will happen regardless. It will happen naturally, whether or not you want to stress about it. And I just have learned, one of my lessons, that stressing about things is a less than ideal way to learn your lessons. The more that we can come into a sense of relaxation and a deep sense of trust, because really what this universe is the very same thing as you. It has given birth to you. You are composed of all of the elements that this thing is. You are no greater or less than anything else in creation. The more that you can tap into this sense of connection with source, with oneness, with the knowing that all things are harmoniously in action, the more we can relax into our own experience, the more ideally things seem to unfold, the more harmoniously things seem to unfold, the more we will notice things like synchronicity and peace arising in our lives. And this can be developed with presence. And one of the greatest ways to come into presence, into this moment now, is with breath. Conscious breathing is one of the easiest ways to tune into this now moment. And that is what time is. We have a sense of time as in a sense of events, sequential events occurring one after the other. But really, all we have is memory of past events, and now, this now moment. That's where all of our power lies. this now moment. So, with the breath, come into presence. Know that all is unfolding in your favor, even if you're learning some divinely challenging lessons right now. It is happening perfectly for you, perfectly for your evolution, and you don't need to stress about the process. Ask yourself, if you are stressing, what am I identifying with that is causing fear? What can I truthfully understand about myself? It might be something difficult that you don't want to face. But when you face it, when you face difficult emotions, challenging feelings, challenging lessons, when you have the courage to face those with your mind and your heart, and truly look at those who have hurt you with compassion, look at yourself and your mistakes with compassion, you can begin to shift that sense of fear. You can begin to disidentify with that less than ideal, less than good feeling state of being. Your lessons are perfectly for you, perfectly difficult, perfectly challenging for your evolution and for your growth, so long as you can honestly and objectively as possible look at your life with a sense of love and a sense of that peace, knowing that though these times may be tough, though these challenges may be difficult, you, with your presence, have the power to come into this moment and find peace and clarity with whatever challenges are arising. And confusion is one of the most difficult things you can experience, but confusion can only be rectified by honestly observing and equanimously observing. So if we're feeling really heightened in our sense of in our inner sense, in our nervous system becoming dysregulated, when we're processing emotions from a place of dysregulation, that is less than ideal, because we're really identifying with these emotions and we're really getting caught up in this process. If we can first regulate our bodies and regulate our nervous system and come into a sense of presence, and yes, a sense of peace throughout feeling these difficult emotions, that's when we can learn lessons and take what we need to take from the emotion, rather than getting so caught up in the process that we do more damage. If we are slaves to our emotions, we perpetuate the pain that we're trying to process. But if we can remain equanimous, observing the thoughts and feelings that arise from a place of peace and presence, genuinely feeling our emotions, feeling anger and feeling pain and feeling sadness, but also feeling grounded throughout those emotions and throughout those feelings. That's the way that we can process our pain in a healthy and a positive way. I am sending you so much peace and so much love wherever you are on your journey right now. I hope you found some comfort in these words, and I hope these words were perfect for you at this time in your journey. I know if you're going through something difficult, that you will get through this. And your growth on the other side of this pain is going to transform you into your most epic, evolutionarily evolved version of yourself. On the other side of this pain is great progress. On the other side of this pain is your best life. So be with yourself with so much compassion and so much love during this time. Wishing you well, wishing you peace.